Things feel pretty bleak. There are still so many things we don't know about COVID-19, so as we try to figure it out and stop it spreading like wildfire, what is science telling us so far when it comes to treatment and vaccines? Is there a medical quick fix? While we keep to ourselves and do our bit in flattening the curve, there are three main ways medical science is fighting back against COVID-19. Developing new vaccines, trialling existing drugs, and creating new tests. Firstly, developing new vaccines. Since China sequenced the genome for novel coronavirus back in January, there's been a global effort to develop a vaccine. One is already being trialled in the US on humans. 45 people are getting 2 injections 28 days apart to test that vaccine's safety. And they're not the only ones. The WHO says at least 20 other vaccines are under development across the world, but others put that number as high as 50. Great, right? But before you rush to your pharmacy to pre-order, experts say a vaccine is about 18 months away from being made available. Professor Paul Young from UQ, where a vaccine is being developed, says that's actually incredibly fast.
Normally a vaccine takes many years. And most vaccines that we currently use in the community have taken 10, 15 or even more years to develop.
Point being, the vaccine process is pretty involved. The annual flu shot, for instance, needs thousands of chicken eggs a day to make. The virus is injected into a fertilised hen's egg and incubated for several days so it can replicate. The fluid containing the active virus is harvested from the egg. It's then inactivated and purified to go into vaccines. Now, the COVID-19 vaccine may not actually need chicken cells at all. Instead, a giant vat of human cells, but really that's a story for another day. So does that mean we're pretty much doomed till a vaccine comes out? Professor Paul Young doesn't think so.
All of us have been just stunned by how quickly knowledge has spread and has been gained on this virus.
While we wait for a vaccine, Aussie researchers are part of a global study to see whether an existing vaccine for tuberculosis could give some immunity to COVID-19. So fingers crossed there. And existing drugs are being trialled to treat coronavirus. There is so much happening on this front. The WHO launched a worldwide trial to test 4 treatments. They include a combination of anti-malaria medicine, a drug originally developed for Ebola, and 2 different combinations of HIV drugs. A Japanese flu drug has also reportedly helped those with mild symptoms, and US scientists have flagged 69 drugs that are suitable to test.
That's probably where we have our biggest hope, that there are drugs already out there that have been taken through clinical trials, so we know that they're safe.
Which can also take a while, but new tests are being created. Every pharma company and biotech is working on this. Soon, for example, as many as 1.5 million on-the-spot finger prick tests will be distributed around Australia. The blood tests can tell if you're currently infected with COVID-19, and it can also tell if you've already had the virus and developed immunity to it. The hope is that those with some immunity could actually return to work, starting with doctors and nurses. Until then, our most immediate fix isn't a pharmaceutical one.
I think we're seeing the evidence of that in some other countries. In Singapore and South Korea did a remarkable job without therapeutic drugs or without vaccines.
So keep washing your hands and stay at home. The truth is, our history is made up of moments where science and human ingenuity have risen to the occasion. We eradicated smallpox, we went to the moon, and we will beat COVID-19. But like most things, it won't happen overnight. Because when it comes to an instant medical fix, sadly, there's no such thing.
Hey, if you enjoyed that, make sure you subscribe to The Feed's YouTube channel.
And you can watch these videos here. See you next time.